welcome back to the challenge where we put rental real estate versus a high yield income dividend portfolio. This is season 1, episode 4. We're in our 4th month. Let's dive into it. But before we dive into it, have you subscribed? Subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications. Let's get into it. So here we are. Here's the M1 Finance. We're at 38.069.48. So we're up. We gained a little bit. What I like about M1 is this pie thing, like it showed before. You can see what section you're over on, what section you're under on. But again, kind of the 1 month look back, 38.069.48. We're up $541.86 in cash flow, and then the market gain is $8.86. So most of our money here is earned by dividends. You see 507.45 in dividends there for this month. So kind of walking through this, we'll just briefly hit all these so you guys can kind of see where everything is. I'm not going to highlight anything. I am going to highlight the new one that I added at the bottom here, Stretch. Stretch is the Michael Saylor play on Bitcoin. They're basically a hard money lender. We'll get into that here in a second. We'll highlight the top ones here: SPY, QYLD, Winner. Those are my biggest holdings. And then just kind of scroll down again for just so you can have some reference on everything that's here. All right, Stretch. So Stretch is, again, this Michael Saylor play. It's the fastest growing product. I just did a video on it. Take a look if you've not seen that video to see if this is for you or not. I'm not a fan. I did put it in here because the dividend is pretty good. It shows a dividend 8% here. It's more like 11.5. They pay out monthly. They're about to pay out bi-monthly. Again, something too good to be true. It's probably definitely too good to be true. So make sure you do your own due diligence in it. I put it on here to monitor it. Otherwise, I probably would not have it in the portfolio at all. Kind of looking through April on the spreadsheet. Just kind of looking and see what the deltas are here. DGRO. So that's a quarterly. Kind of walk through a little more. Iron Mountain about the same as it was last quarter. JEPI, JEPQ, those are about the same. Coke up 507, and they must have paid out the quarter before here. Keep scrolling down. Look through all these are the same. Altria, $16 dividend. Looking through these, Nvidia is about the same. Oh, the real estate REIT's about the same. Palantir's down. It's about a little under 2/3 probably what it was last quarter or last month. PM Philip Morris, that's 754. That's more than it was last quarter, so that's good. QQQX, 872 for this quarter. SPY, that's the one I just want to make sure that one keeps growing because that's the one I keep pumping extra money into. Stag, that's like a 4x from where it was, or 3x up to 455. ULTY up. USOI. So here's one big money win. This is oil play. This is definitely playing the Strait Hormuz. I will be selling that one when the oil flows a little more freely, but I think we're going to make some good dividends on that while it plays out. Winter down about $20, and I've also using Winter to pay back its margin. 505.07 is where we ended up for the month, so that's a pretty good haul for the dividends. You actually see kind of under it 284.44. That's from last year, so we're up that much over last year. Let's look at now at the spreadsheet and let's break it down. The disaster rental house versus the actual stock portfolio. Remember, we started the stock portfolio at 35.04, and now we're setting at 38.069. So a little bit of appreciation. I think I'm going to start tracking that there so we can just kind of have this as the obvious indicator. The house, we won't track as much, but I got some news coming on that, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Rent for April, they pay the April rent, $750. We then had the management fee of $12.25 that goes in there. That fee is probably going to be coming down because I'm getting a couple more houses. And again, I pay a flat fee for some of the management that's done there. And then I pay a bunch of service calls and other things per property. But that brings the April balance to $737.75 profit basically for the rental property. Obviously, that doesn't include big expenses because there weren't any or anything like that. April dividends, 505.07 again. The margin interest was 883, which we saw earlier. The margin balance with that 883 back in. Over here you see it, 18,883. We paid 108.83 out of that. Using Winter dividends, we just basically turn around and flip them back in there. So we paid that out. Brings the April balance of the dividend portfolio to 396.24, and our margin 17.75. So our running total at the moment, the rental property is leading at 17.88 versus the running balance on the stocks at 15.05. Now, something that's important to note is we're going to have to pay some taxes here. Property taxes will be coming up, probably like that June, July timeframe. So we're going to have some property taxes that we're going to have to pay. I'm not sure what those are going to be because the previous owner Senior freeze, owner occupied, a whole bunch of stuff. So we're gonna have to see how that plays out. I think it's probably gonna be close to $750 to $1,000. We'll see how it plays out. It may start low and may only hit me at 300 or $400, and then increase each year. But again, I got some good news coming on where we're going with this. But you see right now the way it stands, if you were just to stop today, the rental estate has a little bit of the edge versus the high income dividend. So, like I said, I think we have a couple of good things coming to this challenge. I've looked at a couple of pieces of property. One of the properties is a turnkey. I'll be able to rent it out. In fact, it'll be rented out if I were to buy it. It'll be rented, and the day I get it, we'll get prorated rent, and we'll work from there. The other one is more of a fixer up. So I don't know which one I'm going to do. I don't know how much money I'm going to be able to get out of the actual rental house that we're using for this challenge, because the goal is to use this property to get another property, and then I want to kind of fix that up, get that going, and do it again, and kind of show you how this BRRRR process works so that you can do this on your own and make money as well. But if I go with the turnkey one, that'll also be a good thing too, because then you'll see how I've taken $35,000 essentially for the one house by the time all repairs were done. And I was able to use that, get a renter in there, show that it cash flowed, and then turn around, get it appraised, and take that money and buy the second house. So hopefully we'll get one of the offers accepted here, and hopefully we'll get moving through this and everything will work out. And if I do end up with one of the houses, I'll definitely do a video and I'll include that so I can show you guys as we run this journey. The goal is really just to give you the idea of how this can be done. It's not passive income by any means. There's a lot of work that goes into this. This is something you could do, and it doesn't take hundreds of thousands of dollars to do it. We could start with house hacking. And a house hack is basically like you buy your primary residence, and maybe you have a basement you can rent out, or maybe you can divide the house up a little bit. You rent it out, and you can kind of get that same thing going, getting that income going, so that you can turn around and you can reinvest it and you can start buying these properties and getting them going for you. I'd love to see you with 10, 20, 30 homes. I think that would be amazing. Before we wrap it up, I'd really appreciate if you'd like and subscribe. Check out our Facebook page. We got a lot of things happening. Stick around. You're not going to want to miss an episode. We're going to do great things.